Thank you very much indeed, more than I deserve. My guest today is one of the most intriguing and versatile and, in fact, best-loved character actors of our time. Known for his portrayals in productions such as The Six Wives of Henry VIII, The Scars of Dracula, The Box of Delights, not to mention The Sweeney and The Omen. But he's probably best known and, in fact, best loved for his portrayal of the second incarnation of that most iconic traveller in time and space, Doctor Who. Welcome, please, Patrick Troughton.
Hello, good to be here.
It's very good to see you. Thank you for coming on the programme. Great to speak to you after all this time. Cosmic hobo, your portrayal of the Doctor was described. What?
That's if they're polite, yes.
Did you not mind that? Did that give you a clue, an insight into where to take the role?
No, really. I had a few ideas when I started, but I think that's what we ended up with, a sort of Chaplin-esque, although not quite with the level of Mr. Chaplin, no. But what? Yes, a cosmic hobo is definitely the accurate description. Yes.
Yeah, sort of impish in a sense, I suppose you could say.
Yes, I suppose. So he's very mischievous. He does love his bit of tomfoolery, which is a bit true to myself, really.
Yes, I suppose that was something that drove you down that path, because the way that William Hartnell had played the part had been very, very serious. I suppose that authoritarian grandfather character became very, very well known. And was that a very conscious decision? You had to play against that?
Well, we knew we had to do something different. And Billy did a great job, and I had a few ideas. My original plan was to wear a turban and sort of do the Arabian Nights. I also wanted to play it as a sort of sea captain, which again was a no. But instead we've got the cosmic hobo, as you said.
And of course, many people do say, and they give you rightful credit for saying that in many ways it was you who had the most challenging role in Doctor Who. That challenge to make the whole concept of regeneration, where you can change the leading actor to be a different looking person, and the audience accept that. You had to make that acceptable. How did you approach a very unique challenge like that?
Mostly out of fear, I think. I thought I was the man who killed Doctor Who, but turns out I wasn't, and which was very good. They did take to me. I think we proved quite popular.
What was your take on that idea of Doctor Who, whereby the intention of the programme, in a sense, is to frighten the audience, watching from behind the sofa or from the crack in the door? Was that something that sat comfortably with you? Did that sort of delight you in a sense?
Well, I definitely think it was quite scary. I think the Cybermen were quite scary. I can't remember where it was. There was, I think it was a hospital or a dormitory or something, and we searched around for Cybermen. We couldn't find them. And then we had one last suspicion that it was one of the patients in this room. And then off comes the covers, and it's so scary. But
that great shocking moment, and in a sense that's where the Doctor comes in, isn't it? To sort of like step through, take control, and say that everything's going to be okay.
Well, I think the audience are meant to be scared. I think that's the idea. I think it's, but only if it's fantasy. If it's something that's in real life, like, I don't know, a wardrobe or something, that would terrify kids forever. But if it was something like a monster from space and I present the fear, then they will be afraid of that. And I think that's a good fear.
Yes, where the audience is trusting you in a sense.
Yes, and obviously the Doctor wins, as he always will, and yes, I think fear is a good factor in Doctor Who.
And you're tempering it with that sense of humour, the impish humour that I talked about earlier. Certainly, I don't suppose we could really imagine that William Hartnell saying "Oh my giddy aunt" in the way that it's become a bit of a catchphrase for you, then.
No. Well, that's the thing I like about Doctor Who is well, there's 6 of us now, isn't there? So, but what's so great about it is that everyone is a unique personality. Someone's brought something new to the role. William brought the originality, the first bit of gravitas. You had myself, obviously, it was quite, I'd say, brilliant. Jon Pertwee, I think.
All right, Jon Pertwee.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
he speaks very highly of you. Let's just take a listen to this.
I've always had a great belief that part of the great joy of working with Pat is that wonderful sense of unpredictability. My manner of learning dialogue is that I always like to be very precise, so that I can tee off all the various exchanges nice and sharply, which suits the way I play the character. But Pat would very often not say the line as written, but instead a version of it, an approximation, but without changing the meaning. And that could be rather confusing at times when you weren't quite sure of your own cue because Pat had changed the words a little. But after a while, of course, this settles down quite normally. One knew what to expect. And it was this very unpredictability that fed into the magic of Pat's portrayal of the Doctor. And after the 3 Doctors, we became great, great friends. It was wonderful to work with him then, just as it was absolutely marvellous to work with him a second time on the 5 Doctors in 1983, the 20th anniversary programme. So I hope, Pat, that you're having a fantastic time, and I'll see you very soon.
That seems to be something, it has been talked about a great deal, that the two of you being great, great friends, and underlined by that sense of mischief, I suppose.
Yes. Well, he's always good fun. I mean, I never really had a thing for conventions. That's something which a lot of the fans do, and I had invites over the years, and I just didn't feel comfortable doing it, and but doing the 5 Doctors, I think Jon twisted my arm, and I got to go, and it's been great fun. It's you see, when we were doing it at the time, I was waking up and going to bed every night. I didn't really think much about its appeal. It was day-to-day work, but
sort of the work schedule being so endless that you can't stop and sort of take time to appreciate what it is.
Yes, exactly. And conventions. Well, I didn't think we had a convention back then, but. No, but Jon, yes, he enticed me to go, and we've done a few together, and our chemistry between our characters was superb, and it's great to actually present that live at conventions now. With I think we had a water pistol fight.
Yes, don't do that here.
No, I wouldn't.
One thing that does come across very strongly, the companions who you work with, Deborah Watling, Fraser Hines, and Wendy Padbury, playing your various companions. I think it's very obvious the fondness that they have for you, and you can see the way that they enjoy working with you so much. It's as though they look to you in a sort of a fatherly way. Do you find that's true?
I don't see Jamie as a sort of Jamie Fraser as a son. It's sort of like a very close friend. It's like Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. It's they get to except with solving mysteries, they get to have a bit of fun along the way and fight monsters and things. There's definitely, if I remember rightly, about Deborah's character, Victoria. Her character lost her father in her first story, and we adopt her and look after her. So I suppose there is that sort of fatherly appearance there. But no, I think it's just a good bunch of friends going around travelling. I think that's something that differs between me and Billy. He used to play, obviously, the grandfather type, and I play your sort of bumbling best friend.
When you were changing over, when that changeover was happening from William Hartnell into you, did you meet at that time? What did you say to each other at the time? Was there a conversation?
We had a nice chat. I think he was very sad to leave. He was not a very well man by the end of his run. And, yes, it was a scary moment for me, and he did make that a lot more comfortable.
Yes, and of course, I think it would have been probably a matter of great pride, and for him that he was handing over to someone of your calibre in that way.
Yes, well, I hope he doesn't regret it. I hope not now. He's got a few more after me, so I think he's all right.
When he returned in the 3 Doctors, he wasn't sufficiently well enough to play and otherwise an entire role within the programme, but he did those certain lines that he sort of fed in. What was it like to work with William Hartnell at that time? He must have been very, very pleased that the programme that he started, here it was in its 10th anniversary, 3 actors and all back together again. It must have been a very, very gratifying thing for him at that time.
Well, he's the man who started it. We wouldn't be here, me, John, Tom and Peter and Colin. We wouldn't be here without him. So, yes, he was very delighted. Yes, I'm afraid, unfortunately, his health wasn't too good. We did meet up. We had a photo shoot or something for a magazine. And yes, unfortunately, he wasn't able to be there with us, running around a quarry. But I don't think he would have liked that too much.
No. But the short lines, the small amount of lines that he did say still had a great deal of impact, didn't they? They carried a great meaning and a great thread through those episodes. Those
Oh, yes. He had, it's sort of like, well, me and John were like two bickering children. And in comes Bill on the screen telling us to stop what you're doing and pay attention. And it's really quite nice.
Yes, you're my replacements of Dandy and the Clown, the classic line, isn't it? Yes, it was a wonderful thing to see all three of you together in that very special anniversary episode. And it sort of resonated with the fans ever since, hasn't it? The first multi-Doctor tale.
Yes, it was a nice idea. I thought it was. I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but no, I think it worked really well.
You gave yourself 3 years on the programme. Do you think that was the right time to have left, or would you have liked to have just stayed on a little while?
No, I think I find if you stick to a role for too long, and 3 years is too long for a character actor to stay in one role. You don't want to be typecast. You want to play other things. I think if you stay too long, you get stuck, and the audience will only be able to think of you as the man from Doctor Who, and not the character you're watching in this particular production.
I suppose you just did just right, didn't you? After 3 years, that was long enough to establish yourself in the role, but also long enough to allow you to take on other parts as you have done and are doing now. But also enough for you can come back to the programme and have another little go as you did in the Three Doctors and in the Five Doctors as well. You can revisit on your own terms, I suppose, can't you?
Yes. Well, actually, I wasn't too sure about coming back for the last one, the Five Doctors.
Oh, really? Why were you not too sure about it? I thought you would.
Well, I heard. I don't think Tom agreed. So I thought, well, what's the point of doing that then? But
sort of an all or nothing kind of.
Yes. But I thought if I could get money out of this, so so I went along with it. And no, I'm glad I did. It was a great time. I remember working fondly with Nick and, of course, John and Richard and everyone else. It was a nice return. I'm glad I did it.
You mentioned Tom Baker there. Once again, he's somebody who's spoken in very admiring terms about you. Let's have a listen to this.
Well, I think not having the chance to have worked with Pat on the Five Doctors is just one of the many regrets of my life, really, because I do think our characters would have sparked with such great mischief, wouldn't they? And I think the enemies would have underestimated us in the face of our tomfoolery, which would have allowed a great plan to come through afterwards. But he's such a superb, mercurial character actor, and I've always been a great admirer. I hope you're having a splendid night, Pat. All the very best to you, my dear fellow. Goodbye. Do let us know if Parkinson is a thal, won't you?
Once again, your fellow actors, they do speak of you in these wonderful glowing terms, don't they? Must be a very heartening thing.
Oh, it's very kind of them. I suppose I should return the favour now. No, lovely Tom, lovely. It's a shame he wasn't involved. Yes, he was sorely missed, but yes, it would have been nice to work with him.
Yes, it would have been marvellous to see that each of you with your sense of mischief. I think would have been a very complimentary thing. Heaven help the Cybermen, that's all I can say. But there may be a chance to work in the future. You're going back to the programme. You're going to be working with Colin Baker quite soon, aren't you? Is that right?
Yes, I think we've got some wonderful weeks out in Spain.
Oh, right.
That'll be nice. We didn't have those luxury locations back in the time I was doing it. There was Wales. That was frightfully cold days out there. Yeah, and sort of things like that, little bits of the seaside and things. But no, Spain, absolutely lovely. And Fraser's involved as well. It's going to be good to actually work with Fraser after 20 years almost.
Yes, do you think it'll be just like, picking up exactly where you left off and just like the old days?
Yes, it'll be absolutely splendid. Me and Fraser had a wonderful time all those years ago, and we did work with each other beforehand. Yes, it would be nice. It'd be nice to revisit and obviously work with Colin and co. It'd be a fantastic time. Yes. I'm looking forward to getting a tan.
Do you know what the enemy is going to be? Is it going to be the Daleks? What will you be? Have they told you what you're going to be facing?
I don't know, I'm afraid. Not yet.
Wait until you get the script.
Yes.
Well, we wish you well in Spain. It could have been Barnsley, of course. Do you know what the title of the story is going to be just yet?
Yes, I believe it's going to be called The Two Doctors.
The Two Doctors. Well, I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it? Well, we wish you well for that. Thank you very much indeed. It's been an absolute joy to talk to you.
And you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Troughton.
Oh, thank you.